In the eyes of some, I might be seen as a former leader of the students' movement, the Zimbabwe National Students' Union, an institution which had a vision to create an inclusive and democratic Zimbabwe with students as integral stakeholders, where student concerns are addressed and academic freedoms upheld and promoted. In the year 2020, I was privileged enough, from being a Student Representative Council President, to be elected into office and serve as President of such an institution. Like any other activist, any other human rights defender, any other pro-democracy campaigners in this nation, in this triple-chaired motherland, I was not spared of how they would suppress, how they would oppress, and how they would repress such individuals who were open-minded. I remember in the year 2020, I was abducted and tortured. I was left dead while challenging and demanding the justice for a 22-year-old Takudzwa Ngadziore who had been abducted and tortured in Bulawayo. After that, I spent a month in prison without medical attention. Bail was denied. But I expected this because I knew that the task that I was carrying forth as a student activist, as a human rights defender, was supposed to make sure that the fear for three things disappear like a moth drawn to the flames. The fear of number one, prison. The fear of number two, the hospital. And the fear of number three, the cemetery. One would think that in a normal country, no youth would have such an image and such a dream where a cemetery is not to be feared. But I believe in democracy. So if they challenge anything in the line of democracy, I'm prepared to die. I was standing in for the students' movement. Little did I know that there was a giant who stood in the path, who waited for me to bear all these acts. Even with this little form and knowledge of resistance, he was willing to hug me. He was willing to make a call and ask me, are you okay? And this is the legend who brings us together here. This is Alex Takudzwa Magaisa. While that mentor to mentee relationship managed to come between us, I still knew that I was nothing. I was just but a young intellectual who thought that what we are going through as Zimbabweans was unfair. And I knew it from the very beginning, that if we do not stand up to defend ourselves, if we do not try at least to die trying to stand, then we will spend the rest of our lives kneeling. With that vision, with those values, with those principles, with those beliefs, Dr. Alex Takudzwa Ngadziore told me that I should continue to speak to justice, to speak to freedom, and like any other, to give solidarity to those who were just like myself, victims of state-sponsored abductions, unjust arrests, threats, and assaults. He was such a man. While many or some who have spoken before me have made mention of the Mavura story, it's funny, but if I may make this submission unto you, that I hope that one day, this Mavura who is driving this bus will have a certain force of logic and conscience to think that he must stop. Because particularly if you are reading the big Saturday read, the Mavura stopped. And the same driver, the normal driver, took over. I make such a submission looking at a constituency of the students who graduate and still find nothing. The youth constituency to which I'm part of, who will still be there in the streets of Harare partaking in drugs. Approximately 70.6% of the youth are unemployed, underemployed, misemployed, or employed and yet earning less than $2 per daily per capita. It's worrisome. Repressive agendas have been put perpetually. We know particularly the arrest of Joanna Mamondo, Makomborero Aruzivishe, Cecilia Chimbili, and other particular young activists who have been made to endure Magaisa. Where particularly that we can redirect this vehicle called Zimbabwe into a correct pathway towards change, towards a nation in which the economy makes sense, towards a nation in which there is political stability, a nation in which society looks at the youth not with the eyes of ageism, but with the eyes of potential, with the eyes that know that they are innovators and creators, the eyes that know that these are organic thought intellectuals who are energetic enough to shape where our country is going, not to become a third world in the eyes of others, but to become a first world country. And we shall, as the youth go there. Dr. Magaisa, we shall, as the youth, follow through the footsteps that you made. I know if, in conclusion, I was about to say that I'm going to follow through and try to fit in to the shoes that you have, no matter how big they are. You would have told me to go find my own leather and create my own shoes. Because you believed in the greatness of youth, of individuals, that they can even surpass the impact that you made, no matter how great. It is such a mindset that we expect in the adults of today. That they mentor people, not even myself, but other youths who are out there.